What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into an Orzhov deck that I put together here, playing around a card from Brothers War called Painful Quandary. This is an interesting, unique kind of enchantment card that costs 5 mana, that whenever our opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. So the idea of the deck, really, for the most part, is to put pressure on our opponent's hand that, they're not really in a spot that they can remove a card by discarding and put them in a position that they would take 5 life. It's definitely a very unique strategy. It's a little bit of an expensive strategy. It's something that doesn't happen quite often, but we do have a lot of ways to hopefully enforce that kind of strategy. Also, not penalizing ourselves if we discard a card, as we have a lot of ways of getting things back from our graveyard by discarding certain things. Like if we were to discard Quandary in the early game due to a Liliana effect, we can always get it back in the late game with a Brilliant Restoration, as that's another card that I wanted to play around with, as I wasn't able to play a ton of it. Another card to help us kind of ramp up a little bit is also things like Restoration of Aganjo, another card that on the second chapter allows us to discard something to get something back from the graveyard that costs mana value 2 or less. So we can get something like a Bank Buster into the graveyard, or even an Underdog, or even a Commando. We can get all those things back from the graveyard with the Restoration. So overall, it's a very unique deck. It's kind of a little bit of a combo-y kind of deck. I mean, there's always a possibility that we get a bunch of Quandaries in the graveyard, and then in the late game, we can just play a Brilliant Restoration, and our opponent has to discard 2 cards or lose 10 life kind of situations, which is definitely kind of unique. And if we get their hand kind of low, especially if we're against a very aggressive deck, definitely something that could work into our benefit. But with that being said, let's just dive into some games, kind of see how we do with the deck. Open in hand is fine, I think. We have Bank Buster, Faithful Aspens, Restoration, so this is definitely a solid hand. Don't have a turn 1 play, so we'll just play Barons. And I think turn 2, we get the Bank Buster out, just as another, thing to put on the battlefields, especially maybe in a matchup where our opponent's also playing Bank Buster, so it's, I think, key if we get ours out as well. Field and Rune can also come in quite handy here if our opponent's playing a lot of non-basics. All right, sweet. We are literally playing a mirror matchup, but we'll play a Restoration. And we'll draw a Plains. And we'll say go to our opponent. So, definitely not bad. Looks like they're going to use their draw effect. Well, I don't have anything that's good, so we'll just discard the Plains. We'll ramp up a little bit. And we'll then play a Cave of Koleos. And we will also say go, because we don't have any targets for our Faithful Absences, Field of Ruin. We're not going to expose that just yet. I'll wait for my, Bank Buster here. There's no pressure to, draw a card now. Depending on what our opponent does, maybe we just want to sit back and kind of wait it out. All right, so it looks like they're going to just get some board pressure. We're just going to draw ourselves. It's possible that they have a way to maybe kill the Restoration here. Grotto's not a terrible card, as it helps us filter our mana for colorless, which allows us to kind of get around pain life for the Cave of Koleos. So, and we get the scry out of it, which is definitely sweet. And I think we just play a regular Underdog. We're not going to blitz it. We're just going to play Underdog and say go. I could activate the Bank Buster, but I don't want to play into open removal. So we're just going to say go and pass. That's fine. So maybe our opponent doesn't have any sort of way to deal with the Restoration at the moment, which is definitely good. Sure. They're going to draw some cards. Not the worst. We'll take 2. They go up to 22. We'll go down to 15. We'll draw. Quandary is definitely not bad, though it does get hit by definitely gets hit by Invoke Despair, which is not the greatest, but definitely putting things on the battlefield that they're gonna have to deal with is not the worst. So if they have to discard a card to cast a spell, to then just even cast anything, it's not bad. Let's crew and see if they have removal. All right, they're going to cycle, which is good for us. And our opponent decides to scoop. I'm not sure why, but they guess they didn't have removal for the Bankbuster, and I guess us dropping Quandary is just like, yikes. Making them have to discard a card every time they play something, which I guess is maybe what they were looking for. I'm not sure. Hey, if you're liking the deck, I have it linked down in the description below if you want to check it out. And if you're also liking the video, remember to hit that like button. Definitely helps out the channel. With that being said, let's get back into the next game. Opponent goes first. I think our hand's okay if we can draw that extra land. Bankbuster is actually a pretty good card that we want to see here. For possibly playing Domain, because it looks like they're just playing... They're trying to hit all their colors. Maybe not full Domain, though. Alright, we'll play Bankbuster. Nothing. That's good for us. I think we play Restoration. I don't think we're in a position that we want to start discarding just yet. So we'll get the Plains. And then next turn we can discard like Grotto, play Plains. Topiary. Fine. So it's like big Domain is the key here. We'll discard Grotto. Play Grotto, we'll get the Scry. Cave is fine. Play Plains. Make them sacrifice
Enough with the mysteries.
Their creature, so at least their Topiary is not online. I mean, they're at 6 mana, so they're ramping pretty good too. Only do it for 1, which is interesting. I always find that weird. Like, you could have gained a bunch of life, but it just seems like they maybe want to play something else. Play another one. Get a Plains. And we'll say go. Opponent has something. Sure. They're going to draw a bunch of cards. That's fine. Maybe they're looking for their way to do something. Sure. We'll draw a card. We'll get rid of Scoured Plains. We'll get it. We'll gain a life. Play this. And we'll see go. What are you targeting? Is it targeting itself? I don't know what they didn't target anything. Draw a card. Sure. We'll draw. Huh. We'll play Painful Quandary. See if they want to do anything about it. Sure. We'll crew in response. We'll swing for 4. Down to 15. One turn. Yep. Got a 6/6 now. Gonna draw a card. You gotta discard a card. What do you got for me? What are we returning? Sure. We'll get rid of their creature. I'll let you draw a card, but I'll destroy the board first. Sure. Drawing. That's fine. What are you gonna do? Which card are you gonna get rid of? That's the card you're gonna get rid of. Interesting. Sure. We'll draw. We're gonna draw again. Discard 2 cards. Draw, discard 2, discard another card. Discard 2 cards. Or take 5. What do you got for me, opponent? How can you kill me? You have something. It's just going to cost you 2 cards or life. Sure. Nice. What are we doing here?
For the sake of all Innistrad, my will must be fulfilled. I bring my own army.
Queens. Sure. That's not great. Well, now at least their card draw costs one more. Vampire.
Dark.
Interesting. They went with the vampire.
You fight for me now.
Discard? Not gonna use it to draw a card out of it, which is interesting. I mean, this doesn't matter. I'll pay 2. I don't know if I actually have a Planeswalker, but we'll pay 2. Okay. Discarded in it. I'm not gonna. Oh, because they don't have the mana to probably cast it. Shouldn't have played that land. That was a misplay by me. I think I'll then underdog to their face. See what's up. Sure. I'll draw a card now, which is good. And now I can Liliana.
Happy to help. Don't big things.
If you're liking the content on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps out a lot. Also, if you want to go the extra mile, you can simply click the join button. You can join the channel and become a member for as little as $1. That will also help support the channel. Now back to the next game. Opponent goes first. Hand has removal and a bank buster and has a restoration. So if we get that land, we're in a good spot. So I think I'm going to keep, as much as it's like a risky hand. But I think it's a hand that will work well against what our opponent possibly could be doing. Alright. So we'll play our mono black land as well. You know, possibly leaving mana open for a cut down on turn 2. Demir. Interesting. Not a card. Not sure. I mean, I've seen people play that. Don't need another one of those, to be quite honest. So we'll put that on the bottom. Now the question is our opponent going to tap out, or are they going to go in on a spell this turn? We'll get rid of a land. We'll get rid of Farewell. Alright, another Shattered Sanctum. Interesting. Search our library for a planes. We put it into our hand. We say go. So our opponent's playing like hand hate, zombie-ish kind of deck. I don't know how zombie it is, but Necro Duality. Okay, so it is pretty zombie heavy. Swinging for 2. All right, we're at an 18. We're gonna ramp a card. All right, that's gonna be good for us. We'll put a Shattered Sanctum into the graveyard. We'll get it back. We'll play another one. We'll draw. Fateful Absence is pretty good. What do we have in the graveyard? 1 Painful Quandary. What's the big card? Fell Stinger. Are you gonna sacrifice itself? Be exploiting? No. Interesting. So our opponent's just trying to put pressure on us. We'll get rid of the real one. You can draw a card if you want to, opponent. Not gonna attack. There's no point. Has Death Touch. Could draw. Could wait till the end of our turn, though, to figure out if that's what we want to do. We have enough mana for a Restoration if we want to do that. Opponent has 6 mana. No way out. We'll draw here. Get another land. Discard 2 lands. Liliana, sure.
When I win, you're telling me what you know about the Raven.
All right, so our opponent had a really
I've
good
always hated
hand there. We'll play the underdog, and then we'll just crew and swing with Bankbuster on their Liliana. They're tapped out, so get rid of their Liliana while their shields are down.
Whatever. Luck favors the foolish, after all.
Okay, their zombies have flying now. Zombie. They play their land for zombies. So they attack him for 5 in the air. Just 3. All right, I guess they're waiting for... Wait until they have something. We'll draw.
This is my
Make you sacrifice a
home,
creature.
and I don't appreciate
Get rid of get rid of your Zambi.
sacrifices must be made.
They can only kill the Liliana in the air. Then we can Restoration back stuff if we want to. Sure. Liliana was a nice sacrifice.
Delay, nothing more.
Jadar. Jadar. Another Bankbuster. I guess we... Brilliant Restoration. Don't have a lot of artifacts, but got a decent amount of stuff. Could use a board wipe. Just make him reset. Be like clutch. Take 5? Because you can't discard? We'll only take 5 in the air. And we'll crew. Probably turns off them 1 and 2 attack on the ground there. All right. Opponent's being aggressive. We'll decline. Could force him to block. Right? Because if we blitz this in, go to 5, though we'd be dead on the kickback. And we play other Bankbuster. See if we can draw into something. A removal will be key to remove the fly-in. Sacrifice a creature.
No more distractions. Let's make this quick.
Probably get rid of your zombie, I would assume. Just because you'll get another one.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
That means they can't attack us, though, which is good. And then we get a pressure attack on them on the way back. We'll take 3. Go down to 4. No. We're not gonna... Liliana is gonna take. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not interested in dying today.
My turn. Alright, that's a card you can draw. Like another copy of. Let's draw first. No. I'm not dead, so not good. And now it's like there's tax on them if they want to try to do something. They have to discard 2 cards or take 5 life. It's probably smart. Are they going to sacrifice their cards? I mean, they probably shouldn't, because then... Just need, like, a board wipe. All I need. Just a little bit of a board wipe. I mean, that is a board wipe, so... Let's draw first. See if there's a better option at board wipe. We get a land. And we'll pay 2. Out of pay. We get a Leilana. And we'll keep our dual lands. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Reset. Nothing? Nothing. It's gonna cost you. Now you discard one of those. Okay. Probably not going to play anything until they have something. But you know I have a Liliana. That seems like a weird play.
Sacrifices must be made.
Good game. You got a kill spell? Nope. Just going to decide to succeed. And we are back. So, I mean, overall, the games went pretty well with the deck. I ended up making a couple changes from my original version that I had as I added in, some cut downs and go for the throats, as they are probably the best removal currently in the format when it comes to being in the black mana for the most part. Fateful Absence, we still have 3 copies of, just because we need a decent way to get rid of Planeswalkers if they stick on the battlefield, and that's probably the best removal for that standpoint. But overall, the deck performs fairly well. It is that kind of mid-rangey control deck. We're not really putting a ton of pressure on our opponent's life total, so if our opponent's also another go-long deck, our goal is really at that point to kind of get our Painful Quandaries out. But still, nonetheless, it is a fun deck. I do think it can perform fairly well. If you're on the play, or if you're on the draw and you're against possibly aggro, or you're not sure if you're against aggro or not, I would always just mulligan to make sure you have some sort of early game spot removal spell, as I do think if we don't have that, that's where the deck could struggle. But overall, it's still a decent deck. I do think has a place in the meta if you want to check it out. With that being said, if you like the video, hit that like button. Definitely helps out a lot. If you're new here, you want to post new videos like this one here on the channel, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.